Thank you for joining us today. It's been a while since we've got an update on South Coast Rail. And actually, next week, people in Fall River will have the opportunity to hear the latest on the progress of South Coast Rail in Fall River and on the South Coast. And I'm pleased to be joined by Jean Fox. She's the project manager for South Coast Rail. Jean, how are you? Nice to see you again.
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's nice to see you again, too.
Yeah, it's good to get an update. Let's talk a little bit about the public meeting itself. I know this is
Sure.
something that you do quite often with the communities in this phase of South Coast Rail. So it'll be next Thursday, which is the
Right.
25th of February. I believe it starts at 6 p.m.
Six.
And talk a little bit about what normally happens at these public meetings.
Well, so they're different because everything's on a virtual platform right now, but we will be providing a phone service for people to call in. And so typically what we do is we'll update everyone on the overall project, where we are as of this point in time. Briefly, we'll alert people to the fact that the $600 million in construction contracts have been let, and there are boots on the ground. In fact, the Fall River line was the first one, so people have probably noticed more activity there. And then we'll go into what we can expect over the next several years as we ramp up with the construction and all the work that goes into rebuilding and reconnecting Fall River to Boston. Remember, we had trains running here until 1959, and now we have the occasional freight train chugging along at 4 or 5 miles an hour. That's going to change significantly. It's going to open up wonderful opportunities for the city, but it's also going to be, quite frankly, a bit disruptive at times. And we want to alert people to that. And certainly, if there are concerns or questions, we will have opportunities for people to pose those after we give a 25-minute or so presentation.
Yeah, and I know when we last spoke, I believe it was late summer, early fall, about the progress. People are seeing work being done at both the, Weaver's Cove layover station and the Fall River Depot. I guess, how have things been going there? Are things still on schedule in terms of those projects?
Well, I'm glad you asked because, clearly with the pandemic, a lot of other things have been impacted, but our teams are following all the protocols and our schedule is right where it's supposed to be. So you're going to see some more soils being moved out of Weaver's Cove they're actually going to the Freetown station down the road in Assonet. And you've also been noticing, probably if you've driven by on North Main, there's been a lot of work with drainage and the water service to the area. So we're getting ready to build up the layover facility. And there has been a lot of activity. And at the depot, they just finished putting in the under drain that'll go underneath the station, and they've put in the piles for the platform. So there's been a lot going on, and that's in fairly short order, I might add.
Yeah, and obviously, we're still looking forward to 2023, right?
Yes.
When we can get those trains back into Fall River and also New Bedford as well, the other leg
Yeah,
of South Coast Rail.
right.
Well, let me ask you, in terms of funding, I know, the governor made a point in his State of the Commonwealth address to spotlight transportation, in particular South Coast Rail, as more funding continues to come through, and it looks like things are just going to continue to move as normal, correct?
Oh, yes, that was music to my ears. It has been music to my ears. We have the complete support of the administration. Our funding is state funding, so we're not tied into the MBTA. So all the horror stories people have heard about the financial position of the MBTA, which should turn around in due course, but right now it's been tough for the T. Our funding, state funding, and we're locked in. We've been locked in, and we have the continued support of everybody who needs to support us.
And also, it's important to note that some of the other projects that have been ongoing for a while is also not only, the layover station at Weaver's Cove and the depot. We know there's another depot in Freetown in Assonet, but
Mhm.
also a lot of bridge work as well between,
Yes.
where the line cuts off, I believe, in the Totten area
Yep.
coming down into Fall River.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So there's a lot of civil work. I think there's 8 bridges for the Fall River line alone. We've already done in early action, we did 46 culverts. A lot of those were along the Fall River line. There are a couple more that'll come up. Remember, culverts are overnight work, so they can be disruptive, but they're the foundation of the rail. So before they put the new rail down and the ballast and all that, we need to make sure those culverts are in good condition. So we're going to have all new track along the line. So no more of the clickety clack. It'll be continuously welded. New ballast. We're raising the tracks. And then, of course, the stations. As you mentioned, we have a lot of station work going on, and there's a a crew building at the layover facility, and all kinds of stuff happening.
Let me ask you, Gene, about the process of these meetings.
Mhm.
You talk about, people being involved. Are there times that you'll hold a meeting and someone may ask a question that may, or provide a suggestion that, you may not have heard of? I mean, does that still happen in some of these meetings?
It does come up occasionally. I had one at a recent one in Middleborough, and what it does is it's food for thought. I mean, because this isn't the be all end all. Things could be down the road. We could add different things. Right now, we're committed dollar for everything we're doing. But good suggestions come from the public. Good suggestions come from people with other areas of expertise, and it's certainly something you want to take in and consider as you advance the project.
Let me ask you finally, how can people find out more information about the meeting in Fall River next Thursday? And is there any pre-registration required or just going to be a Zoom link that people can connect
Yeah.
to?
It'll be a Zoom link. It's a Zoom webinar, so you won't see all the faces of everybody there, but you will see the panelists. It gives us a lot more flexibility in terms of how people can connect with us, because the chat function is wonderful. And then again, we have the phone. If people don't have access to other technology, they can call in. And we have that on our website at southcoastrail.com. We've been working with Mayor Coogan's office to get the word out, and we're going to continue to do so. So you can certainly go to southcoastrail.com. You'll find out all about it. Write to us if you have any questions or concerns, any necessary accommodations, let us know, and we'll be happy to do what we can.
All right, Gene Fox, the project manager for South Coast Rail. Thank you for the update, and hopefully a lot of people will join you on the 25th beginning at 6 p.m. Thank you for joining me. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us here at FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.